review and preview for January 24th, 2021. So let's start off with last week's goal. How did I do? Well, the time management thing kind of went downhill, and I think I'm just trying to keep track of just too much time. I have some different plans for this week. Go over that. Regarding the space goals, I did promote the next space meeting. I did 7 interviews for my countdown to the moon. I prepared for the business meeting. I didn't do 7 reflections, only 3. I logged in and clicked the button to begin the process of the RICE application. I'm kind of waffling on, is that really something I'm interested in doing, and what's the chances of actually getting in? But the other part of me is like, what's the harm? And not entirely sure this is the best move. I'm wondering if it's better just to wait a year, maybe get things in a better position at work, study for a GRE, get a few more credentials, but still kind of on the fence about it. I didn't do anything about the Rotary Club speech. I need to hurry up and starting on that because the time to give it will come quicker than I know it. Personal goals, the extreme time management and discipline didn't work. I was a lot more focused at work this week. Had a new employee starting. It went really well. Ran 3 days. I got some excellent news to report here. Tonal only used it for 2 days, and I did not make much progress in the worldly philosophers. Okay, North Houston Space Society got G Suite for nonprofit set up. I think it's going to help us get organized and what have you. We got the next meeting published on our website, on Facebook, on Meetup, on LinkedIn, and working on trying to get the word out. I did 7 countdown to the moon interviews. Viraj was at work. He couldn't he didn't feel comfortable turning on his video. That's fine. Elena, she is writing a book on space, and it was really great to get to talk to her. Seth is a friend of a friend of a friend, and I didn't have anybody to interview that day, and he was able to step in. Bill and Allison. Allison is the daughter of the Apollo 15 astronaut Al Worden. So it's really great to get to talk to him. Anish was a friend of Christopher's who was visiting, and I was able to do one of those in-person interviews. That's fantastic. Hong is an economist in Vietnam. She is also a member of a English language learning group with like several hundred members. And doing this interview was a good chance for her to practice her English. She speaks fantastic English, by the way. But I was also thinking, if you know anybody that needs practice with their English, doing a countdown to the moon interview is something to think about. And then Ben, I interviewed him today. He's from the Minnesota Space Frontier Society, and he has been advocating for space, in a very passionate, effective way for decades. And it was really neat to get to interview him. He was the first person that I've interviewed that actually had a PowerPoint presentation that we went over, and it just kind of blew me away. I'm hoping to have him in our North Houston Space Society North Houston Space Society chapter virtually sometime to give a presentation. Around the review of last year's countdown to the moons, I only did 3 this week, the first 3 days, and then kind of left it. I think I'm going to reduce that goal. Watching these videos on a daily basis is going to be difficult just because of the shortage of time. The running 3 days, I did great. The goal was less than 11:45. I beat that all 3 days. So on Monday, 11:14, Wednesday, 10:26, and on Saturday, I'm not sure what got into me, but I did a sub 10-minute per mile. It was the 8th fastest 2 to 4 mile run that I've been on since I've been tracking in Runkeeper. So in my mind, under 10 minutes is really where I want to get to. I like to be there consistently. The fact I got there this week so quickly makes me feel really good. Plans for the coming week. Okay, around the time management thing, we're only going to track 2 buckets of time, work and space related. Work, we're going to try to keep between 40 and 45 minutes. I should be able to get everything that I need to get done at work done in that time if I work focused and effectively. Space related, I'm going to aim for about 14 minutes, right on the dot. So my personal goals, I'm actually not going to look for the extreme time management discipline other than with inside the work and space related areas. The rest of it, not so much. Run 3 days a week, reduced it by 5 seconds, but as you can see from my previous timings, that should be easy to stay underneath the 11:40 minute per mile. I used a total of 3 days this week. I'm just going to go ahead and bite the bullet. Let's finish this book, The Worldly Philosophers, and then I need to catch up on some bills and finances. Space goals. I'm going to work on this opening presentation for the February North Houston Space Society meeting. I kind of have this idea for a video for promoting the club. It would be like a 30-minute video. It started out with something like, black screen that says our future, and then you kind of fly around the moon, see the sun is what we make of, and then you kind of go around the moon, you see the earth and a whole bunch of activity in the earth moon vicinity, massive solar arrays collecting solar power, data centers in the sky, beaming power all throughout this lunar space, big orbital structures that humans are living in, orbital manufacturing and observing areas, people living on the moon, and then maybe kind of go towards Mars, and then it says, where did all this get started, and starts like this rewind screen of a person kind of on Mars, going to take off, going to like training, and then at the very end, this person or these group of people have interacted with the North Houston Space Society, and somehow either as an audience member, presenter, a person that's come up to one of our displays or been on one of our tours. And the point is, we're planting the seeds for people to go out there and have a future in space. So that's kind of the thought. Okay, well, I'm going to send out an email to continue to promote the meeting. Also this week for Countdown to the Moon, 7 more interviews. I'm just going to try to do 3 reflections. I'm going to send out my first email to the Countdown to the Moon mailing list, just kind of giving every update on where we are in terms of getting to the moon and my project. Going to make another attempt at finishing, or at least making progress on the professional master's in space studies at Rice. Again, I'm not entirely sure. I think writing this draft as personal statement would be good anyway. Begin the outline for the Rotary Club speech. Begin working on the outline and presentation for MarsCon, which was something that Ben's associated with in Minnesota. I was going to do it on the Countdown to the Moon project, so that could be really cool. And also Ben had 3D printed out this 3D Dragon capsule. And so I'm going to fire up the 3D printer this week and print out a copy of myself for myself. I really hope to share that with you. So anyway, that's my plans for the week. Hope you're doing well. Remember, the future is what you make of it. So let's go out there and make something great. Well, thank you very much.